Deadlock is the latest game in development from Valve, creators of the Steam Marketplace and games like CSGO 2, Dota 2, Team Fortress 2, and a handful of other titles that never got a third game. It's a 6v6 third-person shooter mixed with the core gameplay of a multiplayer online battle arena, more commonly referred to as simply MOBA. I hate MOBAs. I put so much effort into understanding games like League of Legends and Dota 2. Minimal effort with Smite and Heroes of the Storm. Then I cranked up my enthusiasm to 1000 for Pokemon Unite. Alas, my efforts were for naught. And if Pokemon can't get me on board, can Deadlock? Similar to Smite and predecessor, Deadlock is played from a third-person perspective instead of isometric like League and Dota. Unlike Smite and Pred, Deadlock goes beyond the perspective shift and features the movement and combat of a typical third-person shooter game. Each hero comes equipped with one primary weapon and 4 special abilities that can be unlocked and upgraded throughout the match. For the most part, these abilities are all active, but in the case of some heroes like Abrams, Hayes, and Infernus, their third ability is passive. There's reloading and active reloading and headshots that count for more damage and plenty of purchasable skills that focus on helping you hit your shots effectively. You can dodge in any direction, slide around, and parry incoming attacks. There's a jump, a double jump, an air dash, and the ability to mantle and climb up a ledge. And now that I've played it, I have a renewed sense of hope that I can finally be like one of those cool MOBA kids. Yeah! But let's back up for a sec and talk about Deadlock's core gameplay loop so you can get a better picture of the game as a whole. MOBA players have the ultimate goal of destroying the enemy team's base. To do this, players must fight their way down lanes on the map, mowing down the opposing team and the lane's automated defenses. The typical amount of lanes is 3, but Deadlock's map splits into 4 lanes, each with its own color. When the match starts, you and your team spawn alongside 4 NPC troopers per lane. These little guys respawn in waves every 30 seconds and always contain a special one that dishes out healing. The troopers will travel down the lane battling enemy troopers, player-controlled heroes, and the large guardians of each lane. Your job is to join in on this murderous fun in order to collect souls and push towards the enemy base. Souls are simultaneously Deadlock's currency and experience points. Wait, does that make this a Souls-like? You know what? Never mind. And you'll need lots of them in order to make your hero stronger. MOBAs typically lack a persistent leveling system or skill tree that allows your progress with the character to follow you from match to match. Deadlock follows this industry standard, so every new match means working your way back up from 0. Definitely not my favorite thing about the genre. Leveling up happens automatically as you gather souls. The perks to leveling up include more damage, more base health, and all 4 of your character's abilities being unlocked once you've reached 3,000 souls collected. There's also a chance to score extra souls after a kill if you shoot the orb that floats out of the character's body. Interestingly, that orb can be denied if the enemy team shoots it first. Orbs that can be stolen from the opposing team show up as an orangish red instead of the green that spawned from a kill that you've made yourself. Even though experience and money are the same resource, spending souls doesn't affect your leveling. For example, using 2,000 of your 3,000 souls will lower the amount in your inventory, but your level will only reflect the collective amount that you've gathered throughout the match, not what is currently in your pocket. All of the spending happens in the item shop. For me, this was by far the most overwhelming part of the game. Luckily, Deadlock does a good job at suggesting what you should buy next, depending on how many souls you have and what stage of the match you're in. On top of that, there are popular community character builds available right in the shop's menu, making it incredibly easy to copy a character build that may be the best for the game's current meta. Another cool thing about the item shop is that you can browse each item outside of a match. That way, those who want to get to know what each thing does won't have to waste valuable match time studying and strategizing. So let's recap. You're loading in, killing enemies for souls, retreating to purchase skills, and then heading back out to continue pushing the lanes. Rinse and repeat until you've destroyed the enemy base, or they've stomped all over you and eaten your lunch. This is very similar to other games in the genre, with some differences here and there, especially with the naming of things, like troopers instead of creeps, or guardians instead of towers. It's all here though. All of the core gameplay elements that aided in my MOBA aversion. But then, there's the third-person shooter mechanics I mentioned earlier. A style of combat that opens up a level of verticality that the other third-person MOBAs just don't have. In Deadlock, you're not locked into attacking from the same plane. You can bounce all over the place, launch yourself into the air and attack from above, or get high up, make your way behind the enemy team, and hit them with a surprise attack. You can use horizontal zip lines to carry you down a lane, as well as traveling along vertical zip lines that carry you from the ground to a rooftop. Although a sharpshooter like Vindicta doesn't even need to camp on a rooftop with her rifle, because she has the ability to fly and hover in one spot while sniping enemy skulls. And to be honest, take away the MOBA elements and this could easily be a fun hero shooter with all of the usual modes like Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, or even a payload pushing mode like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals has. I would love to see Valve experiment with these types of playlists as Deadlock gets closer to its actual release, whenever the hell that is. Despite being playable, Deadlock is still in a very early alpha stage of development, and a lot can change about the game as time goes on. Hell, even throughout the course of producing this video, things have been constantly changing. There's been buffs and nerfs and just balancing, and even the lanes have changed colors and are possibly on their way to changing back if they haven't already. So I've had to change the script and things as I was writing, and now as I'm shooting, and things might even change as I'm editing. This game is in constant flux. The game even warns you that it has a lot of temporary art and experimental gameplay when you load in for the first time. It's like someone in their early 20s, fresh out of college and still trying to find themselves. The modes currently available are Play Deadlock, a standard match against other players online, Sandbox, a space to test out the game's different characters, Public Bot Match, a way to team up with real people and play against a team of bots, and Private Bot Match, a solo or invite-only match against bots that lets you choose the difficulty. As of mid-September 2024, Deadlock features 21 different heroes to choose from, 11 of which are conveniently labeled great for new players. That amount of choices is awesome, and super useful considering duplicates of characters are not allowed. This includes the selections of the opposing team as well. All 12 characters in a match must be unique. And all the characters have pretty cool designs, but one of the game's developers, who goes by Yoshi on Discord, revealed a majority of the heroes will get some degree of redesign. So how do you actually get the game? You've gotta have friends. Deadlock is currently an invite-only experience, so there is no way to buy or casually download and jump into the game. In order to play, you'll need to have someone on your Steam's friends list that has access to the game invite you to Deadlock. Once the request has been submitted, you have to wait a couple of hours to a day for your invite to be processed. And no, I won't be your friend. Unless, you ask really nicely. Deadlock is half MOBA, half third-person shooter, and it is the first battle arena game to get my attention since Pokemon Unite. With Pokemon, it's because I just really love Pokemon. But with this, it's the familiarity of that third-person shooter action. Those mechanics, that movement, it makes me feel like I actually have a fighting chance in a genre, in the MOBA genre, that I don't usually feel like I can compete in. So it has my interest. Will it keep my interest? Only time will tell. But now that you know what Deadlock is, are you interested in playing? Let me know in the comments below. And if you click this video already knowing what Deadlock is and you've made it this far, give me some tips in the comment section, because like I said, I'm curious. I think about the game a lot, even though there are other games I want to play. I want to get better. This is the first MOBA that I you know, I don't feel like I'm forcing myself necessarily. I want to get better, especially because at the end of the match, I'm noticing that I'm the only player on my team and the other team that has the lowest amount of souls. So I'm thinking, if I really focus on trying to get those souls, farming the souls from the troopers and the you know, monsters that are in like the jungle areas of this game, then I can have more souls so that I can level up and have more health and firepower and whatever else, and then, you know, buy the skills I need. Maybe that's my weak point, it's the souls, and maybe that's not even a maybe, because I can visually see that that's my weak point. Everybody else has so much more souls than me. I'm gonna focus on that, and I'll get back to you. All right? I'll get back to you. Devontae's going pro in Deadlock. Let's go. Probably not, especially once Marvel Rivals comes out. I'm probably jumping ship and going straight to that.